Hey there, I'm Tyler and welcome to the DIYTyler YouTube channel. Today we are going to be making two of these ridiculously huge locker systems for our new addition. Like I mentioned in the intro, we recently added onto our house, and part of that addition was a big mudroom. We live out in the country, kids' shoes get really muddy, we need a proper place to put them. So we built a nice big mudroom, real tile floor, which you saw in a past video, and today I'm actually going to be building two of these gigantic locker systems. This is actually such a big project that I'm going to be breaking it into two separate videos. This video today is going to be covering the frame assembly, installing the drawers, and assembling everything in the mudrooms. I will do a separate video on the shaker style doors because I think that's an interesting concept that I can cover in a little more detail in a future video. As you can probably imagine, this project involved a ton of plywood, especially since we were building two of them. To build one, you will need 2 sheets of 1/4, 2 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood, and 5 sheets of 3/4-inch plywood. Was very thankful to have my Rockler material cart, who happens to be the sponsor of today's video. I actually got that cart to be involved in a different project, but it is working out so well with all these different sheet goods that I've been using lately that I may have to get another one for that project. I started out at the table saw, breaking down those various sheets of plywood to their different dimensions. For the pieces that I could crosscut on the table saw, I did that using my Rockler crosscut sled. For any of the crosscuts that were too long a board to do safely on the table saw and too wide to do over on my miter saw station, I used a DIY track guide for the circular saw. A couple of tips to reduce the tear out when using a circular saw in this manner. The first is to have the visible face of the board down so that the blade is cutting up into the thin veneer and will reduce the tear out. Secondly is to literally tape down the veneer on the top side of your cut, so it will also reduce the tear out when the blade is coming up through the thin veneer. All of the plywood that we have been cutting up to this point are for the lower frames of the locker. I had to build them in 2 sections so that I could get them in the doors of our new addition. It is time for a bunch of pocket holes so that we can assemble those lower frames. This is the first project that I have had the Craig foreman for, and by golly, it is incredible. The pocket holes are so much cleaner. I believe it's because of the higher RPM of the drill bit, as you can see here, and it is one quick motion to clamp and drill your hole. You are able to slide your workpiece right along it and drill holes super fast. And for assembly of these bottom frames, they are done using wood glue and 1 1/4-inch coarse pocket hole screws. I used a couple of 90-degree clamps from Craig Tool to hold everything in place while I was screwing everything down. A quick stroke with a straw in any corners will remove any glue squeeze out. And once those bottom frames are done, you guessed it, it is back to the table saw and miter saw to break down everything for the upper frames. The long portions of the upper frames, I was able to do the cross cut by flipping the piece over on my miter saw. And for the shorter, very many, and repeatable cross cuts, I was back over to the table saw where I was able to do those quickly and safely using my crosscut sled. The assembly of these upper frames took up the entire workbench in the middle of the shop, and the assembly was pretty much done with the same method, with the addition of some brad nails for the portions that would not be seen. Started out adding some wood glue and some pocket holes to get the 2 outside vertical pieces in place. Once the 2 outside boards were in place, it was time to move on to the inside, and I struck a line where all of those inside dividers needed to go, and then glued and brad nailed them from the top only into their respective positions. And now it is time to install all of the shelving using those pieces that we cross-cut over on the table saw. One thing I want to bring out is that you do want to stagger your pocket holes so that you're not driving screws into each other from one cubby to another. I cut myself a couple scrap pieces of plywood to act as spacers for the two different shelves, and then glued and pocket screwed them into place. You can see here why it's beneficial not to put the bottom stretcher into place, because I can use my leg to spread the dividers apart and allow me to insert that shelf without spreading glue all over the outer edges. And once you do get those shelves in place, it's time to get some assistance and put the bottom stretcher into place. If you actually look closely, you'll see I don't have the shelves in place, and that's because this is the first locker that I put together and realized it would be much more beneficial to do it in the order that I've just explained. You can see here how I'm using a large speed square to make sure everything is perpendicular to each other. I actually use that speed square again to quickly add some brad nails into any of the outer positions that I missed earlier. These things are not light to move around. You can actually see the two bottom frames in the background and the other locker over there on the right. Thankfully, I have two of these little furniture rollers from Harbor Freight, one for each of the big upper portions. I was able to balance each on one of those rollers and move them around the shop as I was building various portions. Time for some edge banding. I opted to go with solid maple edge banding as I am hoping that it will be a little bit more durable from the kids banging and clanging shoes against these lockers. You guys all know that I love my iron-on edge banding, but I just hope this offers a little bit more durability over the long run. All of that edge banding is glued and brad nailed into place using 18 gauge brad nails. In preparation for finish, it was a lot of sanding, both with an orbital sander and by hand. I started with 120 and worked my way up to 220 grit with the random orbit sander. The hand sanding is simply to knock off the edges and prevent any splinters. And for that finish, I'm going to be using Chem Aqua Plus by Sherwin-Williams. This is a waterborne lacquer that I was able to spray with my Fuji Q5 Platinum sprayer. I do want to point out that you'll only be seeing me finish the doors in this video, which I actually didn't build in this video, but the process for finishing the frames was exactly the same. This lacquer has been incredible. It goes down like a dream, doesn't need any thinning at all, at least with the Q5 system, and from what I can tell so far, it is super durable. The only cons up to this point is that it is kind of hard to get a hold of, as from what I've been told, it is a newer technology that not all Sherwin-Williams stores are carrying. And if you have to get a custom blend, it is likely that it will have to be sent in, as it apparently only be mixed up at certain stores. Once I had gotten everything primed and it dried up, I sanded with 220 grit and it was back out to put on 2 coats of the top coat. If anyone is interested, this color is Chelsea Gray, and that happens to be a Benjamin Moore color. Once the top coat had dried off, it is time to prepare for the assembly. We are using Euro-style soft close hinges from Rockler Woodworking and Hardware for all of the doors on this locker system. I drilled the large recess holes and then used a straight edge to make sure the hinges were straight and screwed them into place. With a little bit of assistance, we got the upper and lower frames moved into the house and then bolted them against the wall using some 2.5-inch deck screws. And now moving on to the second portion of those hinges on the frames themselves. I made a little jig so that I could mark where the holes needed to be drilled very quickly. I used a Vicks bit to make sure that hole was centered, and then screwed the second portion of the hinge into place. Once the hinge mounting place is securely in place, the doors simply snap onto that hinge mounting plate and work perfectly. Yep, those hinges are pretty awesome and everyone has said so. Thank you very much. While we are inside working on the frames, it's time to put the coat hardware on. There's one center mounted and two on either side, so there's plenty of room for coats, hats, and gloves. Just when you thought we were done assembling, it is time to whip up some drawers real quick. These are very simple box design, glued and brad nailed together. I clear coated these so I didn't have to use up so much of my pigmented lacquer, and I also like the look of when you open the Chelsea gray doors, you get that nice clean bright inside to the drawers. I'm using these centerline drawer slides from Rocker Woodworking and Hardware, and these happen to be the self-closing, not soft closing, which is a little disappointing, but they go in all the same way. I used this super helpful jig to make sure the alignment of all of the drawer slides was exactly the same, since it registers off the same point each and every time. It's universal for any size drawer slide that you might be using, and it simply hangs in place while you mount your drawer slide. Once all the drawer slides were in place, I cut 2 half-inch strips to allow a good spacing underneath my drawer, slid it into place, and used the provided screws to assemble everything. This wasn't even a planned product placement, but I was scratching my head trying to figure out how to uniformly mount these drawer fronts, and I remember that I had these drawer face installation clamps. I ran out and grabbed them, and by George, they worked perfectly. I was able to register off of the boxes that I assembled and get the drawers perfectly centered and spaced every single time.
That's frozen.
It's a brushless saw. Brushless drill. Squeaky.
Can I bring one?
I don't need any more right now.
One did. Look at this. It's my computer.
Standing right in the camera. After getting the drawer fronts installed using the handle hardware as the first mounting mechanism, I did go and add a 1-inch panhead screw from the back to make sure it would never get pulled off accidentally. These were an absolutely massive project, and we're very excited to finally have them done, and we've gotten so many compliments on them since we've moved them into our home. Big shout out to Rockler for sponsoring this video. You saw me use a whole bunch of different jigs from them. Some of them that I purchased on my own, had sitting in drawers for quite some time, and were perfect for some of the trickier bits of installing and building these lockers. Hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it. If you did, please hammer that thumbs up button. Helps us out a ton and gets this video in front of more eyes. Definitely make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you get notified when we upload the shaker style door video, because I think there's a lot of good tidbits of information in that video for anyone that needs to maybe replace a door that's going bad with that style door. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm DIYTyler. You guys have a good one.